Hello, folks, and welcome to WWJPS. What would Jairo Pinto say? I am your host, Vanessa Pinto, who's the daughter of an immigrant, witness to the Trump regime, and currently in law school trying to make sense of everything that's happening in this country. I am trying to figure out Loom, so we're going to see how this goes, but I needed to up my video game. For those of you who have continued to watch, welcome back. And for new people, we talk a lot about politics, Epstein, putting things together, correlations. Mainly I talk about ways that we can help each other and not the billionaire class. So today we're going to talk about traitorous Democrats who say that they're Democrats, but then vote against their own party, vote against their constituents, and seem to always vote with House Republicans are proposing $14 billion for Israel. The budget doesn't include assistance from other allies, funding from the IRS.
I've been very clear that President Biden has submitted a package that includes the national security priorities of the American people with respect to supporting Israel, supporting Ukraine, supporting our allies in the Indo-Pacific, making sure that there's humanitarian assistance for Palestinians, civilians who are in harm's way, and others throughout the world. And I believe that the entirety of the package should be taken up together.
Now, if you take from that, he mentioned Ukraine, and think about the meeting in the Oval Office with Zelensky and Vance and Trump with the you don't have the cards, that whole thing, right? So it's interesting. They have almost cut off all aid to Ukraine, but yet we keep giving more and more to Israel. We're even in a war in Iran for Israel. So why is Israel so... Let's learn a little bit more about AIPAC.
The Public Affairs Committee. In 1943, there was a group called the American Zionist Emergency Commission. Bad things are happening to Jews.
And again, what did he say? The Zionists. Anytime the Jews, the Israeli government comes up, and specifically AIPAC, it becomes you're anti-Semitic, you're anti-Semitic. We're not talking about the Jews. We're talking about the Zionists and their agenda, which is far different.
The U.S. that is advocating to help Jews. 1949, the war is over. They said it's no longer an emergency. We will rename to the American Zionists Committee. In 1962, Robert Kennedy's DOJ said, register as a foreign agent or we're disbanding you. So the American Zionist group shut down, rebranded as AIPAC, the American Israeli Public Affairs, and said, we are no longer representing a country. We're just working on public affairs. So in 2021, they formed the AIPAC PAC, American Israeli Public Affairs Committee, Political Action. They also started another group called United Democracy Project. They are a super...
What I've come to find, especially about Israel and the creators, which were the Rothschilds and some other folks, but the Rothschilds had a huge hand and a financial hand in that as well. But it wasn't formed because of what they said, right? They kept saying, well, you know, this is for after the Holocaust, and we want to have a place. You know, we've been so forsaken, we've been so abused, and I bought that shit for a long time. And yet, why is it we never talk about all the other people that died during the Holocaust? Not that what happened to the Jews wasn't bad, but a lot of people were killed. So why is it that this one particular race can take what happened in World War II and spin it? Well, because they're not really Jews, they're Zionists, and they're crooked, and they figured out how to get clever. We're going to learn how Israel rewrites its history.
The Arabs said there can't be a Jewish state. You have no right to be here.
Wrong. Netanyahu completely distorts Palestinian sentiments. Instead of saying you have no right to a Jewish state, Palestinians are simply expressing you have no right to take our land and deny us self-determination.
We decided to establish a state in 1948, and we said everybody can live here.
Wrong. Netanyahu sanitizes history and completely ignores.
Yeah, that's absolutely untrue. What I've grown to find out is that the actual Holocaust survivors are treated very differently there, that it's exceptionally racist there, and we do have a video to speak on that, but that these Zionists that ended up there have a much different agenda. They just wanted to kick out all the Muslims and take it back, period. And suddenly this is about God and power. That's all it's about.
The ethnic cleansing of Palestinians that took place in 1948's Nakba. Israel was built on the dead bodies of 15,000 Palestinians, 78% of stolen Palestinian land, the removal of 1.9 million people from their homes, and the destruction of 500.
And again, again, much like in Iran, Iran was a beautiful country, is a beautiful country, but so much of its culture is being destroyed by us. So why is it now we look at Palestinians a certain way? They once had a thriving land that was stolen from them. So what's the irony there? So they had to become the enemy. They had to become the enemy. And that's what Israel did. And it got really rich, and it had a lot of people fund it. Right now, it's got the billionaire class. Larry Ellison, let's give everything to Israel. And now more money for them, more money for genocide, more money to kill Palestinians, more money to take over that land. And don't get me started on the fact that Chuck Schumer, Hakeem Jeffries, Cory Booker, and quite a few others whose names, Adam Schiff, a lot of them, I believe 213 members of Congress. Anyhow, they are bought and paid for by AIPAC. Chuck Schumer was the one to end the shutdown because he said, oh, no, people can't eat. No, he wanted that bill to pass. He needed that bill to pass. Money was going to go to Israel. Chuck Schumer will always vote against his party, as will Hakeem Jeffries, because they both get that money. So they stand there and tell themselves they're good people when in reality they are bought and paid for. Just like Trump. Trump is different. They buy him with blackmail. The Israelis are genius in that sense. The Mossad Zionists have created a way to buy people. You know, it's like plata o plomo, like Pablo Escobar, I'll give you money or I'm going to kill you. With them, and essentially, we've all been fed a tale that they were the victims and they were the aggressors. This war right now, this war wasn't voted on, but Congress is still, Democrats are willing to send money to Iran. So the politicians that still want to take AIPAC money are mad that we're all finding out about this. But what we're getting in the process, let's face it, Democrats, we want Bernie Sanders, we want Mondami, we want AOC, we want Jasmine Crockett, we want James Tallarico, we want the absolutely most liberal of liberals, but the smart people who want to have a working class, a future for the working class, who want to make sure our education isn't destroyed, who want to make sure that this country has a future. Because instead of giving all of our money to Israel and to fight these wars that have nothing to do with us, we can offer our people things. And that's the problem. The bought and paid for Democrats like Schumer, Hakeem, oh no, you can't get that. They pretend they're Democrats, but they are absolutely not. They are absolutely self-serving. I don't know what party they represent. They just represent. Ro Khanna and Thomas Massie gave up a War Powers Act, and now Democrats who complain about Trump not getting permission from Congress for the war, but they vote this down.
To vote this down. We'll tell you who those four Democrats were and the repercussions and fallout from this vote, but Jenkins actually did affect the outcome. And here are their names and how much money they've taken from the pro-Israel lobby and their mega donors. Juan Vargas, $949,000. Greg Landsman, $1.7 million. Henry Cuellar, $3.3 million. And Jared Golden, $3.4 million. After the vote,
I wonder why they would vote that way. Is it because Israel wants them to stay in the war? And this is what I mean. We can't believe what these people say. So right now, when we're hearing from Schumer and Warren and Hakeem, you know, just continue to vote blue. No, it's not just continuing to vote blue. It's also holding those people responsible. We don't need wolf in sheep clothing. We need Ro Khanna. We need AOC. We need people who are like, let's take a look at Schumer.
All the aid that Israel needs. I will continue to fight for it. And we delivered more security assistance to Israel, our ally, under my leadership than ever before.
But yet he wouldn't vote in universal health care. He voted against that bill. He ended a shutdown. So what about America? Why is it that all of these men are consumed with Israel, but yet they're politicians for us, right? I mean, it's quite smart on terms of the Mossad. And then, of course, you know, the CIA, who actively works against us and is clearly hand in hand with Mossad, just saying. And all of this is my opinion. Every single thing I say is my opinion. I am not suicidal. And by the way, I'm not the only one to say that, Representative Massie, because people do tend to sometimes disappear if they speak out. But that's the problem. Let's listen to Thomas Massie talk about AIPAC.
Democrat side, but that's how it works on the Republican side.
But it's not like AIPAC is doing this for all countries. Let's listen.
It's the only country that does this, that has somebody that, like, uniformly, I guarantee that.
favorite representative. Each person in Congress has an AIPAC representative, right? So basically, they're an asset, and the AIPAC person is an agent, and they're in their ear. We need this for Israel. We need that for Israel.
There's some spreadsheet at AIPAC where, where the AIPAC dude who's matched up with the congressman is there, and then all the congressman's votes on the issue. Oh, has the congressman been to Israel? They pay for trips for congressmen and their spouses to go to Israel. I'm not the only Republican who hasn't taken the AIPAC trip to Israel, but I'm probably one of a dozen that.
Massey's a standout. He's a Republican, and he's fighting hard. He went for the survivors during the Epstein scandal, and he sees what's going on, and he wants to be against it. Ultimately, we need the politicians who are more concerned with doing the right thing than the beneficial financial thing. And make no mistake, I'm not saying the AIPAC is the only people that give money. The corporations too, right? Again, Larry Ellison, Oracle, all those people, they give. Peter Thiel, he gives. All the billionaires give. So they spend more money buying Congress people because that's what feeds the money to Israel. But they have a hand in getting it everywhere, right? So how did they get to Trump? Well, he's got a lot of those big donors. You know those Mar-a-Lago parties? Let's talk about Miriam Adelson. Miriam Adelson is one of his top donors. I believe she's worth about $60 billion, and she's the one that says, if you would just run for a third term.
Miriam, but the strongest there was, if you said something about a Jewish person or something about Israel that was bad, you were out of politics.
At a recent Fighting Anti-Semitism in America conference on Capitol Hill, Republican presidential nominee Donald Trump directly addressed one of his biggest financiers, Miriam Adelson.
And for the last 10 weeks, we have been waging a righteous war in Gaza.
Billionaire Adelson is a known Republican megadonor. It was recently revealed that she dumped $95 million to boost Trump's presidential campaign, bringing her total contributions to Trump for the 2024 U.S. elections.
So you've got her spending that, and God only knows what else on the back end to Israel. Got Elon Musk spending $270 million. And really the only people that have benefited have been Israel and the corporations, right? That's why the billionaires have no restrictions. America is the stupidest country in the world. We are so corrupt that we just sell everything off, right? Europe, other countries have standards. They also see the danger in letting this happen. Why do you think Spain has taken such a position against Israel and other countries? They know what it is, and it's not what it says it is. Now, going back to how Israel started, it was started after World War II. They wanted a place to have, Israel wanted its place, right? So they just said, oh, we can live in harmony with the Palestinians. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. They went in and just took over the dead Palestinian bodies, and it has not stopped. And how do we know this? We know this because of the Epstein files. We know all of this because of the Epstein files, right? A lot of us were ignorant about this until those files dropped. So let's see what there is to see.
Numerous deals for Israeli intelligence. On Tuesday, DropSite revealed an Israeli spy stayed for weeks at a time with Epstein in Manhattan. DropSite has also looked at Epstein's role brokering a security agreement between Israel and Mongolia, and Epstein's role in setting up a...
Which means they were absolutely okay with the trafficking of girls, with the molestation, with the pedophilia, with all of it. They were okay with the blackmail. They will do whatever they need to get what they need. Why is that a good thing? And why are we supporting essentially just an evil conglomerate? Either because the politicians are paid, and now the ones that are fighting back are seeing if they don't, they are considered enemies, right? They're no longer friends of Israel, and if you're not a friend of Israel, you're fucked. And that's just not the way our politics should be. This is the United States of America.
And Epstein's role in setting up a back channel between Israel and Russia on Syria. This all comes as CNN's revealed today. Epstein mentioned Donald Trump by name multiple times in private correspondence over the last 15 years, according to newly released emails from Democrats in the House Oversight Committee. CNN's reporting the emails show Epstein asserts Trump spent significant time with.
So ultimately, what we know is that all of these people have had an agenda, and the agenda has been for them. It's been for the Epstein class. So why are we still voting for these people? Why are we still supporting Israel the way that we are. It's because we're forced to with the politicians we have. So, Democrats, what I am imploring you to do, and the purpose of this video, because I will be called anti-Semitic, I will be called every name in the book. I love the Jews. It's actually, that's one of the religions, if I ever would convert it, and I was raised Jehovah's Witness, I have trauma. I enjoy that faith, and friends of mine that are Jewish, they're not this. They're not Zionists. They're not AIPAC. They're not hateful. AIPAC also is very clever because they can go back to the anti-Semitic, but in reality, this has nothing to do with being anti-Semitic. This has to do with not wanting to murder thousands of people just because you decided that they need to go. So, those do-nothing Democrats that I keep talking about, like Chuck Schumer, Hakeem Jeffries, Cory Booker, we need to stop voting for these people. We need to look at every cent that they are taking in. And when they get offended about the money they're taking in, why? Why is that? We want James Tallarico. We want Mondami. We want Bernie Sanders. And if Bernie Sanders had been the choice when Hillary Clinton went against Trump, he would have won, which tells you the odds were always rigged. And now we need to do something about it, whether it's voting them in, voting them out, but also not just voting Democrats because they're the lesser of two evils, because ultimately wolves in sheep clothing, they can do a lot more damage than good. I'm going to end this with a trigger warning. The last video I'm going to play is genuinely disturbing. And it's interesting because I didn't realize, and it's come out now, again, I was always on the side of Israel until I realized that they've had their hand up our fucking skirts and pockets since they were built. But ultimately, they're the most racist. I mean, oh my God, I thought America was bad. So buckle up, trigger warning. This one's going to be bad. This is from Abby Martin, and she did this live. She took cameras out, you'll see. This is what these people said, knowing there was a camera.
Living being in Gaza would no longer be living tomorrow, I would press it in a second. I would press it right now. Give me that button and press it right now. There you go. And I think most Israelis would.
During the Gaza genocide, to see people just proclaim out in the open the genocidal incitement.
It's an entire nation out there that is responsible.
אנחנו משמידים את כל מה שעוד נשאר מהרצועה ולא משאיר אבן על אבן. גם מים אנחנו לא צריכים לתת לרצועת עזה. אנחנו מפרקים את עזה ומשאירים אותה כאויי חרבות עם הרס מוחלט וחסר תקדים בעולם.
זכור את אשר עשה לך עמלק, נצטווינו. אנו זוכרים ואנו נלחמים.
It was heinous and horrifying, but finally people saw Israel for what it is. It's all been exposed. They're not hiding anymore.
כל ילד, כל תינוק בעזה, אויב.
אני רוצה להעיף אותם, להשמיד אותם עד האחרון בהם.
מעזה, אתם תמשיכו לרעוב.
And using the Holocaust. And using the Holocaust. This is disgusting. We're only going to hear a few more minutes or a few more seconds.
ימשיכו למות, הבתים שלכם ימשיכו להישרף.
אני לא חושב שיש מישהו במדינת ישראל, בארץ ישראל, שצריך לרחם על העזתים האלה. לא על מבוגרים, לא על קשישים, לא על צעירים ולא על ילדים. מבחינתי שירעבו למוות, מה אכפת לי מהם?
אנחנו שורפים להם את הכפר. זה טוב שאנחנו שורפים להם את הכפר.
I'm done with this now. I can only take so much. So America, we need to start really understanding who our politicians are and who our enemy is. Israel is great at keeping us close in order for us to fight their battles. They have universal health care. They have tuition. We are selling off this country for bits and parts, but we are also saying that we have an ally who isn't really an ally. They are sucking us dry in order to achieve an agenda that is truly, truly horrifying. And our American politicians, like, what's his name? Leslie Graham, the one that's always in Israel and was caught in Disney World. That man is gay as ever been. Anyhow, I hope that you like my deep dives. And like I said, that's why I started with the tech bros and now I'm moving on to AIPAC. I'm talking about people who are disrupting our country, everyone's country, and who want to use their money to displace us. With Israel, it's so we can continue funding wars. With corporations, it's so they can continue to do whatever they want, rob us blind, not pay taxes, rape children, eat them, whatever, you know? I guess that's A-okay in the USA. Anyhow, if you got this far, please tap a like. I am really happy. I'm getting to know this. The set will get better. Take care, folks.